Okay, everybody, welcome back to the show. We've done our exercise. It's about 6:30. Now we're gonna feed the dogs. I think I got about 13 or 14 dogs to feed, maybe? Something like that. You're gonna notice that my energy's a little on the more calm side. Typically when I feed dogs I don't talk. Where's she going? Because you want it to be as calm as possible. You don't want any excitement during feeding, because they're already going to be excited enough. So, this white husky bosker here hasn't stayed here too many times, so she doesn't know all the technical rules about feeding times. She already got told off a little bit by one of the dogs just by generally being, see, waggy tail, see it, waggy tail. Both those dogs don't live here, so generally you don't want waggy tail when you're feeding dogs, because you want them to be calm. So I'm just going to put that there, just a small visual block. And what you want to do, is you want to create a boundary. The key to feeding a pack of dogs is to have a boundary. Invisible boundary, because you want to maintain. I mean, I did put a little pole there, it just helps them from going through. I could probably just take it away, to be honest. I'll put it back there if they keep trying to go through. I'll just hang it up here. So it's hanging up there. Okay. And so the key to feeding dogs when you have multiple dogs is to create a boundary. See, that's a boundary. She's just crossed the boundary. So they move back. Now if she keeps moving forward, instead of me getting frustrated, what I could do is either tether her up or put the stick back. But we'll just leave it like that for now. Now when you're feeding dogs too, what you want to do is you want to make as little sound as possible. See, I'm picking up these bowls without trying to make any noise. Because if I were to cling and clang and cling, I'm not up to this every time perfectly, but if you were to cling and clang and just be really loud, they get more excited. See, they're calm, you want them to be calm. So everyone's got their own bowl, you don't need the red one today. I'll use this one. So I'm just trying to do this without clinging and clanging too many bowls. So you don't want to use their name when you're about to feed them. You don't want to call them over to feed them. You want as much as possible use calm energy. Calm energy associated with also scent. The scent of the food will get them excited enough. So everyone has their own bowl. I'm going to say his name because I already know who all these bowls are. So I don't want to say their name, because then if I say their name, I think that's their time to get fed, but it's not. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 guests here today. I got my personal dogs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dogs. Then we got guest dog. I'm not going to say her name, like I said. I'm not even going to say what kind of breed she is, because I do refer to her as her breed, so she'll know I'm referring to her. Got a couple bowls in here that the dogs didn't finish last night. The poodles don't eat consistently. They're very light eaters. But I'll save it and they'll finish, see if they want to eat today. So I'll put these here. So their bowls are already prepared. So I feed the dogs raw food. So I have it all thawing out right here. It's pretty much thawed by now. It's a little frozen in the moment, but not too bad. So as a general rule, what you want to do generally, not all the time, is if you have multiple dogs, focus on feeding the most calm ones first, and then the ones who are behaving poorly, generally speaking, the ones that are more reactive or excitable or younger, or they're have a few behavioral issues that you're dealing with, more dominant perhaps, always trying to push to the front of the line for food. Generally you want to feed those guys last. So you basically want to reverse the order of their natural instincts. because the one who is the most pushy and the most excitable and the youngest and the fastest and the strongest and the loudest tends to be the one that gets fed first, right? Because they're just like insistent. But we want to suppress those instincts, so we want to make them more balanced. So I'll feed the best ones first, generally the older ones, and guests, because guests always behave better when they're at a guest house. Your personal dog is always going to behave worse. My personal dogs are generally going to be more excitable than the guest dogs. So, got a variety of raw meat here. I buy the package that comes in 12 pounds. So I get 4 pounds of chicken. I got it's not on here, but they include all the minerals and vitamins and everything they need for a balanced diet, and I put in the oils afterwards as well. So we'll do fish oil tonight. And turkey, I do suspect that the big dog Daisy has some slight poultry allergies, so I'm going to feed her the beef and the turkey. Turkey tends to be just fine. It's the chicken that tends to be a little bit more causes issues with allergies and so yeast infections in their ears and that kind of thing. So we got Gia, Daisy, Diesel, Rhea, I don't say her name too hard, Tulo, Molly, Jazz, Lita, Jersey. This will be for Sadie. And then I have the 2 poodles, Ruby and Nora, and they live with Sammy. So Sammy's going to get fed out of this bowl. Prepare his bowl later. It's a process. I prefer to feed dogs raw food because my philosophy is if you give them good exercise, good positive vibes, love, keeping them calm, not stressed, consistent, always there for them, giving everything you can for their lives, which includes feeding them the best thing you can, then they generally don't get sick. And raw food, I think, plays a big role in that. They're generally healthier when they eat better food, just as we are. And so if we eat bad food, we have to go to the doctors more often. Same thing with dogs. If dogs eat bad food, they got to go to the doctors more often too. So I avoid vet bills by giving them the best food I know to give them. So I just sort of know. I just eyeball it by how much I give them. I know which dogs need how much. Some dogs are a little light or a little skinnier than I'd like them to be, so I add that. Jazzy's been a bit skinny, and so is Diesel, so I'm upping their. I'm giving them more than I usually do. And little Lita is always, her weight management is important because she has bad back legs, weak back legs that we've worked very hard, and she's worked very hard to regain her mobility. And I do think that the key to retaining mobility in a dog is, first of all, exercise, but making sure that they don't get too big. If they get too big, then it makes it too hard for them to get up, and then they fall over more easily. So you have to pay particular attention to the weight of a dog with a disability, and feed them less than you might think. You don't want them to get overweight. So that's about enough for her. So what I like to do also is I'm whispering-ish because I don't want them to be excited. So I'm just going to do things nice and calm. So you'll notice that the sound of dry food makes more sound. So they're going to generally get a little bit more up from the sound, simply the sound of that. I'll just top it off. Just add a bit more calories. I don't like my dogs being too skinny. Just like that. It's summertime, so in summertime they generally don't need to eat quite as much, so I actually could pull back a little bit on how much I'm feeding them. But this will do just fine just for now. So just make sure they're all still calm. Just keep an eye on them. So when I'm looking out here, I'm actually not even looking at them. I'm sort of scanning the horizon. So when you're looking around a pack of dogs, you really don't want to to look at them. The best way to look at a pack of dogs is not to look at them, it's to actually scan the horizon with your eyes. That's the mantra. You want to like pretend like you're scanning the sea line or the horizon, and then glance down at certain dogs that you're interested in knowing what they're doing. You don't want to just look right at them, because it activates them. When you have a pack of dogs, you want to do everything you can not to activate them, so there's lots of little tricks like that. That if you continue to watch the show, we talk all about this kind of stuff. You know all about it. All about how to take a dog who's having behavioral issues, reactivity, anxiety, fear, aggression, jumping behaviors, barking. All those behaviors can be solved by all the little things that I'm talking about over time. This doesn't happen overnight. It takes a bit of time. Okay, so this is my CBD oil. CBD oil is essential. CBD oil reduces inflammation and any pain, reduces pain as well. It's a painkiller, but it's a natural one, and it's CBD is a non-psychoactive supplement, so it just helps them relax as well, so it reduces anxiety as well. So all these things are good. So now we're going to put our fish oil in. 6 drops for the big dogs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 for this medium size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 for a slightly smaller dog. 1, 2, 3 and a half. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll get the client dogs a couple too. Why not? I'll give Sammy his food. I don't think Sammy's gonna eat, but I will offer him some food. He's a 15-year-old pug mixed with a Maltese or something like that. I don't exactly know what kind of dog he is, but he's just a little white dog. Not just a little white dog. There's a lot of pride in that little guy. So anytime the dogs start making noise, it's always best to address them. Lita's barking right now, which means she actually wants to come up. So I'm going to close this door behind me, because whenever you're not manning the boundary, unless you have like perfect boundary scenario, you want to close the boundary, because they will shoot in, especially the client dogs. Okay, I'll just pick Lita up here. She can't go up the stairs, so we'll just put her there. So I got their oil. Whenever they cross the boundary, you want to stop them. You want to move them back from the boundary. The boundary is what keeps them under control. And then it takes a lot of work to maintain a boundary, but if you do, it's better to communicate with them to create the boundary than it is to close the door to create the boundary, because you lose all communication once you close that boundary. And maintaining communication through your body language. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so Lita gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They don't all need CBD. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if I have enough on me, I'll give it to all of them. It's not going to hurt them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is the old dog. This is the one that needs it the most. The old dogs and dogs with disabilities need CBD oil the most. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's Diesel. He's about 10 or 11, so 1, 2, 3. Gia doesn't need much. She's only 2.5. And Daisy, because she's kind of aggressive. And then I'll finish it off for myself. Yeah. Help me stay nice and fluid and reduce my inflammation so I can feel fantastic tomorrow. Okay, I think we're about ready. So now what we do is we separate some of them and we just do 3 or 4 at a time. Now, when you're feeding dogs, what you want to have done, so I'm just going to have the 4 best ones up here for now, then I'll do the clients after that. This is a client dog, so she's got to go out. There she goes. See, most people don't practice this kind of stuff at home, so they just don't really know how to do it. Just gonna ignore that for now. No, most of the time I address that barking, but I'll just ignore it for now. Feed Jazzy first, as it's hard to bring out 4 at a time. Sit. You want some eye contact? That's good. Some dogs are better at eye contact than others. So I'm going to address that. I'm going to give him a small touch. Touch. Do the exact same way every single night. Cripple dog first. I'm working with eye contact with this guy, so. Very good, very good eye contact. Eye contact with her too. I've had this dog a lot longer, so she's used to it. See, all those guys gotta wait. So we do it in order. We don't do it all at once. It's just too much. I got the bull terrier over there, but I got Sammy over there too, so I gotta bring Sammy out first. Because so the bull terrier needs to wear a mask. Because she's been known to be a little too aggressive. There he is. So the idea is you want to create a little bit of separation between the bulls, and you want to be paying a lot of attention during feeding time. You don't really want to be like losing your focus. We'll move them off the steps. Boundaries. This is a good opportunity for boundaries. Feeding time is a good opportunity to practice boundaries. Okay, so lead this time. I'm going to help her go down the stairs because I don't like, occasionally, like those are pretty steep stairs for a little crippled dog. She goes down them, but I'd rather her not fall down them or even stumble down them, so just pick her up. She goes right there. And she's done. You want to like not allow the dogs to stick around where the feeding was happening. They can't just like wander around and sniff around and try to get scraps from other dogs. That leads to bad situations. So they're done, they leave. That's it. That's the way to do that. So when you're feeding a bunch of dogs, it's good to have an access point with one doorway. Everything else is just closed. You can do it with more open areas. It's just going to require a lot more effort on your part because it's harder to maintain a boundary when there's more than one entrance. Shh. See, she gets fed last because she's the most excited and she's the most pushy. That's what I was. Hey, hey, hey! Stop that. That dog's done. See, I'm not using their name still. It's better to refer to them as dog than it is by their name, believe it or not. Okay, now I'm gonna do the client dogs next. See if I can call it. I prefer whenever I'm calling dogs in for feeding, generally what I prefer to do is call them with my energy, like this. But they don't always get it, so. Ruby. Sadie. Make some space here for them. Go ahead. Hi, stay. Nora. We'll feed Sadie in the crate. And then Sammy lives with these two poodles, Ruby and Nora. So we'll go get Sammy. See if he's hungry. Probably not. He's old, so don't expect the old dog to eat too much. Oh, there he is. He's ready to go. Good. There he is. He knows it's supper time. Good job, buddy. Go ahead. Telepathic. Oh, he's telepathic. Good for him. Okay, battery's about to run out, so I'm just going to switch batteries, so just 1 second. Alright, now that Sammy's out, we can feed the bull terrier. Another trick to feeding dogs, especially if you have one that just won't listen and won't stay still and just causing all kinds of problems, is you could just tether them. See how she's tethered to the table over there? See that? That way she can't go anywhere. It's very common. I use that tethering technique quite a bit. I'm going to make her sit. Ask her to sit. Sit. I'm going to put this, stay. She's going to look at me. Good girl. And we got Sammy, Nora, Ruby, and Sadie. Feed Sadie first, and she's in a crate. Now, another general rule when you're feeding dogs, I've been doing this a long time, so I fed quite a few dogs. Like I've fed doing this with this sort of system with literally 70 dogs. So it just takes longer, but it's the same system. And generally what you want to do is you want to move slow. You don't want to rush it, you want to just slow everything down for all of them. So I'm going to add a little bit of meat in there for Sammy. Because that's how they get delivered when they stay over for the weekends or during the week. They come with cooked meat here, so I'm just going to put a bit of that on there. A spoon. Just like that. So. There we go. That's it for him. He's old, like I said, he's old, so you don't need that much. Now these guys are slow eaters and messy eaters, but it's alright. Nice and calm. That's what I want to see, nice and calm. Give that dog some food. Give that dog some food. Good. And that dog some food. See, that's the one that gets fed last. Absolutely last. She's the most growling, so now we're just going to maintain the boundary. Oh, I guess Sammy's kind of done, so he's just got to pee anyway, so that's fine. See, I told you he wouldn't eat much. If he wants to come back for food, that's fine too. So when I was living at the dog farm, I'll show a little clip of it right now. I was, what I would do, most of the time what I would do, because I was spending day and night there, 24/7, I do 12 days on, 2 days off, 12 days on, 2 days off. So I'd just sleep and live and eat and I wouldn't take a break, much of a break anyway, maybe an hour here and there. But I would basically live out there for 12 days and then I'd come back to this house and take 2 days off. And in those 2 days I'd still take 6, 7, 8 dogs with me from the farm. The ones I needed the most are my personal dogs. And felt like I was taking a break when I took 7 dogs back to the city. So I'm not going to let her mount. Stay off. And basically most of my job when I was out there, most of the time I spent was maintaining boundaries. When you're working with packs of dogs, and anything more than one dog is a pack, you want to do a lot of boundary work. Boundary work is key to maintaining respect, maintaining good behavior. A lot of it comes down to creating boundaries. Boundaries. Not like tons of boundaries, just like 1 or 2 really important ones. And during the feeding time is always an opportunity to practice boundaries. Calms them down. So they're like really slow eaters. I may not just let them just sit there and not do anything. So they're not eating. So I might just not going to eat. So that's fine. Okay. So I'll save these for tomorrow. I'm just not hungry, so. Just put that up since I'm not going to eat it anyways. Okay, out. So when your dog comes in and breaks the boundaries, they gotta go immediately out. And I'll have to make boundaries. Okay, out. Go. Out.
Good job.
Okay. So I'm gonna keep the door open on this one so I can keep them safe now. Oh, no. Hey, don't go in there. So I got 2 boundaries here essentially. I've got this boundary to the kitchen and then that boundary to the outside. So this space here is a space that there's a boundary towards. Okay, and cover these with saran wrap. Save them for tomorrow. Nothing wrong with them. They didn't eat them. So see, I'm talking really quiet, right? When you're around dogs, you really want to practice your tone of voice. Tone of voice. Hey. When I first started working with dogs and I was watching the Cesar Millan show, the Dog Whisperer show, what I was practicing most first was tone of voice. I'd literally go out with my one dog and I just practice different tones of voice. It's a really good thing to practice because you can make things worse with the tone of voice or you can make things better with the tone of voice. So practicing a tone of voice that creates the outcome that you're looking for is worth practicing when you're working with dogs. I'm sure it's the same for most animals, but particularly dogs. And then the more I work with them, the more I realize that actually talking less to the dogs is more effective. That's the big one. The big challenge of our society is that people want to talk to the dogs like they're humans. Humans do a lot of talking. Dogs don't talk. I mean, obviously there's a couple dogs barking, but those are the worst behaved ones. The ones that make the most noise generally are the worst behaved ones. It's kind of wild, but it's true. This one too. Very good focus. She just nibbled on her food, so I'll put her out afterwards. She's doing fine just there. Well, got a little bit of time. There's only 2 more dogs left to feed, so do some dishes while I'm waiting for those guys to finish. So what are the key takeaways? Key takeaways when you're feeding dogs. Quiet. I'm talking because I'm doing a video. I could have done a voiceover, but it's alright. I've worked really hard to create this consistency with the dogs, so I can talk over it without too much difficulty. Like, too much excitement, I mean. When I first started feeding dogs, so no talking is the first thing. Second thing is slow it down. Don't rush the feeding. Don't do it quickly. Slow it down. When I first started realizing that that's what was supposed to be done, I would literally take like an hour and a half, 2 hours to feed like 6 dogs. Seriously. What I would do is I would do it step by step. So I put the bowls out like I just did. They get excited, and then I go do something else, like watch TV or just, you know, do whatever you're doing at night. Go on a computer, talk to your friend, talk to whoever. And then I go back to it maybe 20 minutes later, and then I'd like pour in some food. And then they get excited again, and then I take a break, and I go do something else. And so I would do that in increments of maybe 4 or 5 incremental steps before I fed them, and I make them wait the whole time. So now, whenever a dog, one of the ways to maintain a boundary is to always move forward on a dog. You always want to move forward. See how I'm moving forward? Creates the boundary. So, see? See, he knows too. So you use your energy, right? So I'm pushing him with my energy right now. That's how you do it. You always want to focus on using your energy, not so much physical or sound. Use your body language and then have an assertive mind. Now see, the reason why I feed this dog last, and I think the main reason why she got so aggressive with her previous owners, like bad aggressive. The key for that dog right there, what I'm pointing at right there, she gets too excited for feeding. So, see, that's excited. She thinks she was taught that jumping up for food is how she's supposed to get it. And if you teach your dog to be excited and do tricks for food, you're asking for a whole lot of trouble. Never ask your dog during feeding time to be excited. That's what you want to see. You want to see calm, focus, like that. And so because she's the most excited one, she gets fed last. So I'm going to put it down and I'm going to make her wait. Just like that. Focus. She's very good at focusing. It's taken a lot of work to undo. I mean, obviously she's not completely undone, but undo that. And I developed a relationship with a human for the last year, my girlfriend, and so I honestly haven't spent as much time as I could doing the as slow as I possibly can with her for feeding. So it could always get better. That's why I feed her last, because she's the most excitable one. And that's that. That's how you feed a pack of dogs. So, just to go over the key points. Very minimal sound. Try to do things as quietly as possible. Don't make it exciting. Move slowly. If you have more than one dog, make sure you feed the older one first. and then, or the one that behaves the best may not be the oldest one. Hey. Back. Other thing is boundaries. You want to maintain a boundary. Boundaries will help you have success feeding multiple dogs. Do a boundary without actually a physical boundary. Do it with invisible boundary. Invisible boundary is way better than a physical boundary. Physical boundary just creates the trap sensation, and so they can actually get more agitated from generally dogs who I don't live with take more time to do boundaries because they don't practice boundaries at home, and that not practicing boundaries with your dog leads to all the behaviors that you're having difficulty with. Even if it has nothing to do with boundaries, the behavior that you think that you're having problems with, or that you are having problems with, trust me, they have to do with boundaries. Out. Boundaries, personal boundaries as well. So a lot of times what dogs will do in order for them to be able to have the right to act aggressively towards a dog or not let another dog be pet by you or even a kid come close to you while you have your dog, if that's a bad case, is because you don't maintain personal boundary space. Personal boundary space gives you access to higher levels of respect and makes your dog generally more safe. So boundaries is the other thing that we talk about when it comes to feeding. Okay, out. You gotta go directly out. That's what they do. Directly out after they're done feeding. They're not allowed to linger around the feeding area looking for scraps, because what can happen is if two dogs come in looking for a little piece of scrap, that could turn into, an argument or a fight. Okay, so I'll save that for tomorrow. Finish off these dishes. And that's the feeding video. So, I'm Corey, the Autistic Dog Wizard. Stay tuned for more episodes. Diarying. Not diary. Diary. How do you say diarying when you're doing a diary? You're doing like a vlog, a daily vlog of sorts, maybe, is what you could call it. And so that's just the one for today. So I hope you enjoyed watching me feed the dogs, and maybe hopefully you learned a thing or two, and then you can apply to your dog and make your dog better behaved. Okay, thanks for watching. Till next time, I'm Corey the Dog Wizard.